Time to get real. I want to see some crazy Wiz Biz.
What's the magic made out of, ding dong?
I want to see some of that Wiz Biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical!
You can't like that.
Bacon pancake!
Welcome to the Wiz Biz podcast. My name is Erik,
And I'm Alexx.
and together we make up one entire team of podcasters. This podcast is about Adventure Time and other stuff. And in this episode, we will be discussing Adventure Time Season 1, Episodes 19 and 20. But before we get into that, Alexx, how's it going?
You know, Erik, it's going great. We just celebrated, well, it's going to be months before, or at least weeks before they hear that. But in our time, Thanksgiving just happened. And it's an awkward holiday for us Americans where we just
It is.
put our fingers in our ears and pretend it means something that it actually doesn't. So happy, really awkward holiday to you,
Happy,
Erik,
really
and
awkward
yours.
holiday. You know, there are things that I personally really enjoy about the holiday. Like I do enjoy the feasting and the family and friends gathering and all that kind of stuff. But I also know that like not everybody gets to experience that, which makes it awkward. And sometimes it's kind of like, well, how cool is it that I'm making all this noise about the fact that I have, lots of family and friends to holiday with, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it is awkward. You're right.
Oh
Awkward.
boy, that wasn't the awkward I was thinking of. I was thinking of like, to word it differently, it'd be like Germany celebrating their freedom by celebrating Kristallnacht night. Like,
Oh God, yeah,
we're
you're
literally
right.
we're literally feasting on the bones of a people that we destroyed. Is what
Look,
I was
there
trying to say
are-
delicately, but
Yeah, okay, fine. There are layers of awkward. There are many layers of awkward in Thanksgiving.
I mean, what
I
you're saying
totally
is very
agree.
sweet.
No, but you're right. There are layers, and what you're saying is also true. Like that's also a really, really crappy part of it that I think about. But sometimes I think about like the more immediate awkwardness and not the more awkwardness in the past. But yeah, it's what America's good at. We're good at being awkward and ignoring our past and ignoring how troubling our history is and all that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it's a skill set of ours. But what are you gonna do? Do anything about it? That's not our way.
Eat a turkey, watch some sports ball. I guess that's mostly what we do.
Yes. Oh yeah. You know me. It's that big football guy I am. Erik, you were in Arizona.
I am in Arizona. I mean, yes, from the listener's point of view, I was in Arizona, but from our point of view, I am currently in Arizona. And it's okay. Let me tell you how weird this has been. Before coming to Arizona, I went out to Central Oregon, where I would wake up in the morning and it would be 3 degrees out. That's Fahrenheit, 3 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a cold so cold that, in case you haven't ever experienced it before, like if you walk outside, this level of cold hits you in the face, and your first thought is, "Oh shit, this is going to kill me. I should go inside."
Yeah, it's cold.
It's cold, and I love it. I love that feeling. Like I really, really love being that cold. And for a second, then go inside, stand by the fire, get warmed up again. So from that, I came down here to Phoenix, Arizona, which is the 5th largest city in the United States, and it is basically just in the 70s all the time. Like today I went out on a walk and I went and got some lunch and stuff, and there was a time where I was kind of like in the shade while I was walking down the block, and I was thinking to myself, should I put on a shirt? Like, should I wear a long sleeve shirt instead of just a short sleeve shirt? And while I was pondering it, I started sweating a little bit, and I was like, okay, I guess not. This is just warm and weird.
Yeah, Arizona is unlivable, and I don't understand why people live there. Like right now it's fine, but like
Yeah, right now
in the
it's
summer
beautiful.
is fucking absurd.
Yeah. I've talked to some natives, some locals. I guess they're not natives; they're locals. Yeah, and they sort of agree. They're sort of like, "Oh, it sucks in the summer. Like, you don't want to be here in the summer." I talked to somebody today who's like, "Oh yeah, we've got 2 air conditioners in our house, and in the summer, all you can do is go from the 2 places that are centrally air conditioned, like one to the other. You can't really stop in between." It's like, wow, that sucks. But also, Oregon's getting that way.
Well, I mean, it's not getting Arizona hot, but it's it's getting horrible.
I don't know. 2 summers ago, we hit 116, and that's Arizona hot.
Well, yeah, that's true, but it was for like a day.
It was too.
Arizona, Arizona's like unlivable for like 3 months. It's a fucking brutal place. My friend used to live there, and he would just constantly report back over AOL Instant Messenger to date the story of just how fucking brutal it was in the summer.
Well, so how is it in Portland right now? Is there any snow?
No, it's really nice out.
Oh yeah, is it like
it's like 48 degrees Fahrenheit, which translates to some amount in Celsius and a different amount in Kelvin. And it's great. Everybody's all Thanksgiving out. I didn't do anything because I really made great choices in my life. That's where we're at.
Another thing that I've found very bizarre about Arizona is literally, so like the morning after Thanksgiving, we went out to meet our friends for breakfast, and it was like overnight the city was decked out in Christmas, like stuff on the streets, houses with their lights on, like municipal Christmas decorations on like light posts and strung across streets, and like this little town we went to for breakfast, it's another suburb of Phoenix, but it had like a big Christmas tree that was all put up, like, and it happened overnight. I assume it all started at like 5 a.m. the day after Thanksgiving. Everybody was just sort of like, okay, get outside and put up the Christmas decorations, like it's Christmas time. So and every single place that I've been in has had Christmas music playing. It is I guess this is what you hear people complaining about. Like sometimes you hear people complaining about it, like on the news or on social media, about how people get into Christmas too quickly. And I've never seen it in Oregon, like maybe a little bit, but here it was like an alternate Christmas dimension was just waiting to burst into being.
Yeah, that's that Sedona vortex that everybody talks about is actually what it is. It's just quickens Christmas. It really threw me for a loop. Like I was just baffled by going outside and seeing all of the Christmas stuff. So you're in like kind of the old lizard people part of Arizona.
I'm in Phoenix. The particular town that I'm in is called Litchfield Park.
Litchfield?
And
Erik, you got to get out of there.
It's spelled with a T, like Litch.
No, I got you, but still, dude.
Oh, I haven't actually seen any liches, just fields.
I think it's Lychee
Field.
Yeah, that's how you.
Yeah, and Litchfield Park, I think it just counts as a suburb of Phoenix. Phoenix is so here's another thing. So I was mentioned before, Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the United States, but it is like flat. It has a sprawl that I do not know how to describe. It just spreads out. It's like oil across water. There's no tall buildings. Yeah. It's just all single 1-2-story buildings, and they're friggin' everywhere, and it's a fairly unwalkable place. I don't want to say that it's a universally horrible place. Like, I have enjoyed my time here, but I would never live here.
No, temperature-wise, it's horrible, but there's cool metaphysical stuff. That's the only thing I care about Arizona.
Yeah, but that's up in Sedona. That's far away from here.
Yeah, no, because you're in like you're in the lizard old people part of Arizona. There's like a hippie off the beaten trail Arizona, which I don't want to go to either because it's really freaking hot. But maybe I'd be there in like December, maybe. Maybe,
yeah. I mean, I think northern Arizona does get some snow and stuff. Yeah, but like
that's fine. That's acceptable.
My parents and we drove down here from Central Oregon, so we took 3 days to drive down here. It was kind of fun. I saw the Hoover Dam for the first time.
The
which was
Hoover
cool.
Dam.
Yeah, it's a dam.
No, I know. I'm trying to remember where that is.
It's on the border of Nevada and Arizona. It's just outside of Las Vegas.
Oh, it's that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Like it's
No,
freaking famous.
I know I know the Hoover Dam. I just in my head I couldn't put it in the world. I'm like, I know it's in America. I'm pretty sure it's like West Coasty, but like that's as far as I could get it. I know that I know the concrete's still curing after all this time.
Is it?
Those are all my
I mean,
facts.
it looked fine. We drove across it twice, and it seemed to hold up fine.
Yeah, apparently the innermost concrete layer is I don't remember, but like it, or maybe it took like 50 years for it to cure. It's like some like
Maybe.
ridiculous because of the pressures involved.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, they finished building the Hoover Dam in 1935.
Yeah, so it's probably just drying now.
Yeah, it's just finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been a really it's been a fun trip. It's been super educational. I've learned a lot. I've added 10 birds to my life list. So I've had a good time.
10 birds to your life list.
Yes, because I'm a bird watcher.
No, I know, but does that mean that you saw 10 birds that means you've seen them?
I've never seen before in my life.
But you wanted to.
Well, I didn't necessarily even know they existed.
Okay, that's the term. Okay, so life list is just you saw a bird and you wrote it down.
Yeah. So it's on my
It's
list.
it's not like you had a wish list and then checked it off your wish list.
No, although I did have a few birds that I really did want to see. So there were birds that were on my wish list who were also lifeless birds, and I didn't get all of those. Like I haven't seen a roadrunner yet.
I was about to ask you about roadrunners.
Yeah, I haven't seen one. I wanted to. I really would still like to see a roadrunner, but I have not seen one yet.
I don't know if they're technically birds, but have you seen any tumbleweeds?
They are not birds, and we have those in Oregon.
Yeah, I know, but like they're better in the South.
Are they? They're just the same.
I don't know. Like all movies have taught me that those are the official tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds are an invasive species.
I was in one of the Texas cities. I forget which one, but it's much like Arizona, where there was I think there was like one 4-story building, and it was just like everything just spread out for just miles and miles and miles. So like you're 10 miles outside of the city, and you're in the city. Maybe not 10 miles, but it's like, how no, this isn't the city. The city's over there. See those four buildings that have steps in them? That's the city. But no, like miles and miles. Like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to control what you guys say is a city or not, but like I think this is a little bullshit.
Yeah, it feels super super suburby where I am now. It doesn't feel a lot like a city. Although today I did walk to a brewery, so that felt Portlandy. Except
that's cool.
that I was outside in just a short sleeve shirt, and that did not feel Portlandy.
Well, at least not this time of year.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Eric, speaking of cities,
Alex. Yes.
in about some amount of minutes, we're going to talk about Freak City, but we should talk about first an episode of Adventure Time called The Duke.
The Duke. I'm excited to talk about when I loaded this episode up. I was kind of like, oh, I don't really remember this one until I got into it, and I was like, oh yeah, this one. It's sort of a Princess Bubblegum episode, and it's sort of a episode where Finn learns a little bit more about being responsible, I guess. But this is also the episode.
Oh yeah. I'm getting this in the next episode confused. Yes, he does learn about being responsible.
Yeah. But this is the episode with Catterday Surprise.
Was that one of the spirit bottles?
It was one of the spirit bottles. Yeah, one of the potions that they were throwing at the beginning.
So what do you think those spirit bottles are? So we're both, you're like a magical kind of guy. I've dabbled in the mystical arts, Dr. Stephen Strange style. What do you think those bottles are?
Yeah, I was sort of rushing to get things set up when that episode first started. So I'm not sure. Did they explain anything about them? All I saw was that all of a sudden they were throwing these potions that had crazy effects when they splashed on things.
They didn't explain anything about them, but I have a working theory.
Okay.
They're in the Candy Kingdom, right? Mm-hmm. I believe that mints count as candy. Mm-hmm. I also think sugary colas could count as candy since root beer guy is in the Candy Kingdom. I believe that is an advanced form of Mentos and Diet Coke.
Okay, I like that. That is better than anything I would have come up with. I guess, yeah, I do think we see much, much, much later on that the creation of the Candy Kingdom people involved some wrong turns and some false starts on Princess Bubblegum's behalf.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that maybe those spirit bottles might represent some of her failed early experiments at creating life.
That's the ghosts of her failed experiments.
Yeah. Especially the Catterday surprise. Like, that totally looks like something Princess Bubblegum would have accidentally made.
I like the story gets kicked off by Finn throwing one of these bottles that's shaped like a boomerang, and it boomerangs out and smashes Princess Bubblegum in the face.
And turns her green and bald.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which,
yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting. Maybe those are. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what use that would have.
Well, I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's an accident.
No, but I mean, like, you usually try to make something. So, like, was PB trying to make like a hair removing tonic? Like, did she have like a Sasquatch problem at some point?
It wouldn't surprise me in this kingdom. In Ood.
Yeah, no, Ood are psychic aliens. Oo is the planet we're on.
Ooh. Yeah, so anyhow, like, this wouldn't necessarily be a problem. Well, I mean, it would always be a problem. Like, Princess Bubblegum does not want to be green and bald, but she could figure out how to fix herself. But the grand meeting of Ooh royalty is in 5 days. And Princess Bubblegum is pissed. She was already pissed off at this weird character, the Prince of Nuts, who, when we first see him, he's sort of like running away from her.
Not to correct you, but I do believe he's the Duke of Nuts.
The Duke of Nuts. Yes, you're right. The Duke of Nuts. So, when we first meet him, he's running away from the princess. And of course, you're on Princess Bubblegum's side. And so are Finn and Jake. And Finn and Jake are like, oh, this must be a bad guy. We're going to track him down. We're going to bring him to justice. And Finn sees a way to pass off the green bald potion throwing onto him and blame him for it, so he doesn't have to take any responsibility.
Well, yes, but just small thing is PB immediately blames the Duke. It's not like Finn concocted the story and had to manipulate the situation. He just didn't claim, because it doesn't matter, but it's like that would be a little too manipulative for Finn.
Yeah, agreed. And you know what? There's something really interesting in this, which I think is a lesson for all of us to learn, which is that Princess Bubblegum immediately jumps to this vengeance-fueled mindset where she announces that, like, whoever threw that bottle, she would hate them forever. Like, she's obviously not thinking this through. She's obviously already blaming the Duke of Nuts, and she doesn't really, she wouldn't really, really hate anybody forever for doing this, but her first thought is, this was a heinous crime, and whoever has done this is just the most rotten person in the world. So, what would you do, like, in this situation? I mean, obviously she's thinking of the Duke of Nuts, and she's not even suspecting Finn. But as we learn in this episode, as we go along, all of Princess Bubblegum's hatred towards the Duke is kind of wrongfully placed and not wise. It is not wise.
Well, okay, first, what I would do is, because I'm a coward, I would just go home with Jake and just hope it blows over. Like, don't talk to the Duke. Like, my show would be very boring. Like, Adventure Time with Alex and Jake would be a lot of just, like, kind of hanging out with BMO in the treehouse and not really fucking with anything.
Let's just hide from this.
But I would say that even though, we find out later that she's mad at the Duke of Nuts because he keeps stealing all of the pudding in the castle every time he's there. And he says, well, it's because I have a pudding deficiency and I'm ashamed of it. That's on him. Your shame is not an excuse for theft. Like, so if I walked into, like, say I'm a type 2 diabetic and I walk into Walgreens and steal bottles of insulin, although justified, and we live in a bullshit country where insulin makes us broke, I'm still breaking the law. And from the outside force, it doesn't, a cop can't go, well, you're stealing for a good reason. There's no Robin Hood clause in the law. So from the princess' side, she was justified, and he should face the death penalty.
The death
I mean, maybe
penalty
not the
for
death
stealing
penalty,
pudding? Oh, no. See, that's unjust. That is not just. But
How so?
but
He
see,
broke the law.
That's what we're discovering. That's what we're discovering here is that Princess Bubblegum is not a benevolent dictator.
No, she's an evil, hate-filled German, as they all are.
Yeah, she's also an autocrat. Like she
Yeah.
wants absolute control, absolute power. And let's face it, nuts are not candy.
Okay, well, okay, that's a whole side conversation. But let's be fair about PB here.
Okay.
She is also technically their god, because she did create the entire kingdom.
She didn't create the nut people.
No, but she created the Candy Kingdom. So
She did.
when you're saying she's an autocrat, it's like, but autocrats usually don't have like, they usually say that, oh, I have my power through God's intervention, through divine providence. She literally is God. So I feel
Okay.
like she's justified in her, like, if she wants to destroy the kingdom, whatever, she made it.
Okay, that's
I'm like an Old Testament kind of guy.
I mean, it's hard for me to really come down in favor of that argument. And again,
Because
I'm
it's
sort of-
bullshit, and I just thought it'd be funny to
Well,
say.
no, I mean, honestly, like there might be something to it. It's just, when I think about it, I just think of all the stuff we have yet to see about the Candy Kingdom and about the sort of like nature of Ooh and the nature of all the stuff in Ooh. Like we haven't really gotten into the guts of it yet. So I think that here's one of the things I think that is really, really important. I'm going to be taking this episode a little bit too seriously here for a minute. I think that one of the things that's really important about this episode is that we get to see that Princess Bubblegum contains wrath. Like
Oh, yeah.
she can be wrathful and she can be capricious. Like,
Yeah, she's the Old Testament god. Yeah.
she is the she's the Old Testament bubblegum god. Yeah,
Yes.
and so there's something about her that can be really, really terrifying. And Finn and Jake, of course, don't really see this. Maybe Jake does, but Finn, I don't think, ever thinks about Princess Bubblegum's wrath in any sense that doesn't involve like his crush on her. At least not yet.
Also, a little more crush evidence here. PB has a picture of Finn up in her study or wherever she is.
Yeah, I saw that. I wrote that down in my
Yeah.
notes too.
So Finn decides to, all right, we're going to arrest this guy because he's probably a bad guy. PB's mad at him. And they visit the Nut Kingdom and they meet the Duchess of Nuts. And she's
Duchess of
there
Nuts.
doing what I'm going to refer to as nutsomancy.
Listening to nuts.
Yes, the nut oracle is there. And she's telling the future through the nuts or telling the present. I just love Jake is eating handfuls of it. He's like, I probably should ask first. These could be your kids or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
The thing that's so ridiculous about it is like Finn and Jake eat so much candy in the Candy Kingdom. They don't
yeah.
ever really seem to care. But the candy.
Well, I mean, I
eats
guess
the
they know the
candy.
rules of it back then, in the Candy
it's
Kingdom.
true.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
So let's pause here. Are nuts candy?
No, nuts are not candy. This is a question that I have. I don't understand. So we never see the nuts again throughout the entire series. Do we?
Not that I remember.
Not that I remember either. I think the whole Nut Kingdom, the Duke of Nuts, the Duchess of Nuts, the little Nut Knight, the Peanut Squire, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like all of these characters are just one-offs for this episode, including most of the people at the grand meeting of Ooh royalty, which we see at some point. Like there's a Turtle King, there's like all this stuff going on, and none of it really fits into the story of...
So the turtle is implied because we meet Turtle Princess at one point.
We do meet Turtle Princess, but we never encounter like a Turtle Kingdom. We never really encounter any turtle subjects. So something about the Ooh royalty like doesn't really fit into the arc, the story, the whole story of the whole show. So there's something in this episode that doesn't really match the rest of the series.
Yeah. Well, season 1, I think we've kind of given a blanket pardon
They
to
just
not
get a
agree with
big
later
pass,
canon.
like, none of you has to agree with everything else.
There's a running gag in this, obviously, that human testicles are often referred to as nuts, and I didn't mark most of them, but I did
Right.
love the Duchess of Nuts saying, "Would you like to hear what my nuts have to say?" which is it just sounds like someone telling you something rude.
Yeah. I love the son of a blee blob.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's another great character in this. We cut to around this in the episode. Jake is referring. He says, "Oh no, it's easy being hated. Everybody hates me, or a lot of people hate me." And we cut
and the
to like
squirrel.
a red. Yeah, we cut to a red squirrel.
Yeah, is
who
that
is mad at Jake for not publishing his letters,
Yeah.
which opens a whole door of
doesn't
inquiry.
make any sense? How would Jake be publishing them?
I don't know. And why does he have he has a holographic newsletter that seems to be written by Jake. Like Jake has an advice column.
Yeah, like what's going on with that?
I don't know.
I think we have to watch out for this. Like, is this something that's going to be referenced later on? Does Jake have a holographic newsletter advice column that we just didn't know about? There is an episode, I don't know if we've seen it yet, where Ice King has this holographic computer interface also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a wizard. It's fine. This is
That's
just
true.
a squirrel, man.
He's a tech wizard. Okay, so all right, so we see the Ooh royalty. Eventually, everything gets cleared up.
Wait. We can't get it cleared up quite yet.
Okay.
The way that it gets cleared up is
Yes.
that Finn, Jake, and the Duke of Nuts come up with a clever plan in which they're going to stage an assassination attempt.
People can hear when you don't do finger quotes, so make sure you
Oh,
do
sorry,
finger
I was
quotes
doing
around
finger
clever.
quotes, people.
Yeah, clever.
So they stage an assassination attempt at Princess Bubblegum to have the Duke of Nuts come out and save them. However, this is the part we missed. Who's there?
Peppermint Butler!
Peppermint
Yes.
fucking Butler.
With
Yes.
0 lines. He has 0 lines. And he's
doesn't matter.
so useless. He's so useless
We're
in this.
so close to Peppermint Butler being on the show in the way that we
but
love.
He just,
Yeah.
Princess Bubblegum is like, slap him in irons, and Peppermint Butler comes out with these incredibly ornate handcuffs or manacles, and is like trying to put them on the Duke of Nuts, but he can't reach. And
Yes.
He makes these little noises as he hops up trying to reach.
But we're
Yeah.
getting there. We've got to.
I know we're getting there, and I'm really excited about it. Peppermint Butler is one of the best characters. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
the best. I know this is a point of contention between us, so I'll say he's one of the best characters in the show.
Well, that's fine. I'll give it to you. It's just, BMO is the
Yeah.
best character. It's just, it's objective fact. But now we've got BMO in his non-talkative phase and P-Butts in his non-talkative phase. We're right there.
Both of them are just so useless. Like, neither of them really develops until later. So it is a really good tease.
But we're almost at later. Like, season 2 is like around the corner, and that's
I know,
that's
we're
where all
almost
these
there.
people.
We're getting so close. There's a ton of really good episodes at the end of the season too, and I think I think that this is a good episode. But it's interesting how this episode is sort of complex. It involves Finn and Jake actually learning lessons, even Princess Bubblegum learning lessons. But the whole thing is kind of a throwaway since none of the characters and situations ever recur, have any sort of lasting impact. The nut kingdom, all that kind of stuff is just sort of a toss. Whoop. It doesn't really matter.
I would, the only thing I would say is that oftentimes, like in season 1, I can't think of other examples, but maybe we talked about it on the show and I'm blanking, but that they'll introduce a character that later in the series, a different character kind of takes their attributes. I think the red squirrel is the prototype, the ersatz assassin kitty cat.
Meow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. And
I think that's, yeah.
I think that there's something about the Duke of Nuts that really reminds me of Abracadaniel.
Yeah, he does have that kind of laid back. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of like useless but pivotal.
Yeah, but wait. I want to go back to this candy thing.
Okay.
When asked in, I believe it was Loki. It was in the TV show Loki. When Loki was asked, "Do you have candy in Asgard?" He says, "We have fruits and nuts."
But that's not candy.
No, but when asked, a god answered, "Fruits and nuts."
Okay.
Because also, I would posit this: is lemon a candy?
Lemon itself is not a candy. No.
Then why is a sentient lemon part of the candy kingdom?
Because he's not a sentient lemon. He's a sentient lemon candy.
Yeah, he's shaped like a lemon, though.
Yeah, but you've had
And
those
why are
lemon candies. Those lemon
bananas-
candies are shaped like.
Why are bananas part of the candy kingdom?
All right, you got me there. I don't know. I suspect that I suspect that we're going to get into that when we start talking about the origin of bananas in
Yes.
Adventure Time. It could be that that's related. It could be that the Banana Guard are actually sentient bananas created from the Nightosphere.
I'm going to posit this.
Okay.
Much like your beloved Flagstaff or whatever shitbomb town you're in right now.
Litchfield.
I think
I'm in
as you
Litchfield.
get further from the throbbing epicenter of Candy Kingdom,
Uh-huh.
you start to get into what I'm going to refer to as the snack suburbs.
The snack birds.
The snack burbs, wherein nuts, bananas,
So this would explain...
probably hummus. There's like a hummus lake.
Oh, there's not... I mean, hummus is going to be attached to some other kingdom. Probably not the Candy Kingdom.
But I think we're
Probably
entering
the
into the snack suburbs.
Slime Kingdom. Slime Kingdom probably has a hummus suburb.
Because I feel like here's the thing is I bet you pretzels would count in the Candy Kingdom, even though pretzels aren't candy. I think there's
You
a
think there's
snack
a-
candy overlap.
Okay, no, I would buy that, and that would explain why there's a duchy of nuts.
Yeah,
Because it's not important enough to be a whole kingdom. You know, they're basically
Exactly.
just a snack, which means there might be a duchy of Pringles or something of that nature. Duchy of pretzels. Yeah. Okay, that does sort of fit, I think, in our extended universe.
exactly.
Yes.
And one of my favorite things in any kind of fiction comedy writing is when someone has an obsession, a Jean Valjean level of like a laser-like focus, and the person he's focused on is unaware of this. And when the
right.
red squirrel jumps out, it goes, "Remember me, Jake?" And Jake's like, "Nope."
That squirrel
that will
must
get me
be,
every
yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's totally that is such a Meow reference. I think that's a good catch.
But I just there's nothing better than swearing vengeance on someone and like your whole life
Why
is based on
won't
it.
you
Like,
print
yeah, I don't
my
know.
letters?
Yeah. All right, so let's do
Okay.
a segment.
Okay, hey Alex,
All right.
do you have? Let's do the segment called "Look at this shiny rock I found," and I want to hear a shiny rock.
I'm going to give you a shiny rock.
Okay. Okay.
The first of which, I don't know if it's I don't know how shiny this is. I find it amusing, but I don't know how
Okay.
obscure this is.
Okay.
Do you know what pendiculation is?
Pendiculation.
Yeah.
Pandiculation.
Pandiculation, yeah.
Pandiculation. I do not.
So, pendiculation is the kind of stretching, weird motions that most mammalian species make when they wake up. That kind of like...
You mean like when you do that stretching and like all your things pop back into place?
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
sort of realize that you're a day older and things are just there are certain things that will never be the same again.
Yes, but I also think it applies to young, supple bodies as well.
Well, oh yes, I forgot about those.
Yes. I believe they also can pendiculate.
They also pendiculate.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good word. Yeah, you wake up and you have your pendiculations, and you have your cup of coffee, and then you have your some perambulations, and then maybe your
Abulate. What's it called when you
ablutions.
take a shit?
Ablutions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that Victorian word? The nice way to say take a
Yes,
shit.
some ablutions.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do two more shiny rocks because
Wait,
I have them.
I feel like you're going through these shiny rocks awful fast. Don't you want to save some for later episodes?
I can just find more. All right, I'll do
Okay.
one more.
Okay.
Do you want number 2 or number 3?
number 3?
Good. That was the better one.
Okay.
Do you know what quincunx is?
I do know what quincunx is.
Yeah, I kind of thought you might know that one.
Why did you think I would know that one?
Oh, do you not know?
Well, no, I do know, but why did you think I would know?
Because it's like sounds like a magical-y thing. I mean, it seems like the arrangement of like magical objects in sets of 5.
Yeah,
would
it's
be,
a set of 5.
Yeah,
A quincunx. Yes, it's a.
It seems like there's a lot of like magical overlap there. Like I assume
I
assume there's a
totally-
Masonic book that says the quincunx of candles or something.
The quincunx.
Yeah.
Quincunx of candles. Yes, I mean there should be. I'm going to take that phrase.
Yeah.
From you, if
Wait.
you
So
don't-
I should tell the audience.
Okay.
A quincunx is an arrangement of 5 things with 4 on the outside, 1 in the middle. Think of the number 5 on a dice.
Yeah.
or the 5 in playing cards. So there's 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, 1 in the center. These are
Yeah.
quincunx.
Yes. And I think there's also a flower or 2 that's arranged as a quincunx, where the petals are that way. But yeah, that
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one. Good shiny rock.
Yeah, it's a good word. I was like, this feels like something Erik would know. Pendiculation and quincunx. The one in the middle, I don't know if you'll know, but we'll find out next time.
You know what? A pendiculation is an exercise of your own quincunx. You know, your 4 limbs around your central trunk. So pendiculation is the human quincunx preparing itself for the day.
Now, when you imagine the quincunx of the human body, do you picture the 5th pip, the one at center? Do you picture that being your navel or your genitals?
Navel.
Navel. All right.
Yeah, my genitals aren't really load bearing.
I can hold up a towel.
Like a hand towel?
No, like a full bath towel.
A full bath towel?
Yeah.
Your genitals?
Wet. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be in a certain state.
Wet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, if you guys want to go see Alex's OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a Patreon, so like, if anybody signs up for like, I don't know, $1,000 a month, I'll totally send you a video of me lifting a
bath
towel with
level.
my dong.
Alex the towel rack.
I mean, a lot of this is based on assumption. I've not actually tried this, but yeah, it seems like a towel.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering, like, how awfully threadbare are your towels? I mean, you're not using one of those like brand new, ultra floofy, 4 Seasons bath towels.
Oh yeah, no, I am, but I do daily Kegels.
Daily Kegels.
Yeah, my pelvic floor could crush a cantaloupe.
And this is going to be Stephanie Quick's favorite episode.
Yeah, we talked about birds and pelvic floors. Yeah.
I know, this is great. This is great. I mean, should I talk about some of the birds that I've seen? Some new birds on my life list are the great-tailed grackle, the cactus wren, the black-chinned sparrow, the curve-billed thrasher, the vermilion flycatcher, the Costa's hummingbird. I mean, you know, these are some great bird names.
Yeah, a lot of those are great. Yeah.
The great-tailed grackle, just the grackle in general. Like, there's a whole family of grackles. There's different grackles, and I saw the great-tailed grackle is the one that's down here.
No, that's the Simpsons brother.
Grackle?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you don't remember Grackle Simpson?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
didn't-
Oh wait, no, it might be
may-
Graggle. So there's a meme, a somewhat recent for people of our age, ancient for young people.
An ancient meme.
So
A meme
do you
of
have a
old.
web browser open? Or wait, is there
Dude,
some way can I share a
in
screen
a web
with
browser. We're recording this in a web browser.
you? Oh, I thought yours was software on your end.
No. It's a web browser here too. Yeah, there's a little chat window. You can share something with me.
Okay. Entire screen, sure.
Oh, you want to do a screen share? Can you do that?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh,
Can you
look
see
at
that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Grackle Simpson is this guy.
Oh, Graggle.
Yeah. So Graggle Simpson. So apparently they just made, as a joke, like the internet just started making up that their favorite Simpsons member is Graggle, just to fuck with people. And now there's this entire like C's written into like even the old Tracy Ullman style ones. And yeah, so there's this whole like life of, but they're like making up that it's like a fake Mandela effect kind of thing. Like, what? You
That's
don't remember
hilarious.
Graggle Simpson?
Graggle Simpson.
Yeah. Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of a Fraggle.
Yeah, he's got a. Oh, that's probably where they got the name from. Fraggle.
Yeah. He looks like a Fraggle.
Yeah, but I guess that's not
But
Grackle. So
the
my apologies.
Grackle is with a CK. He's Grackle, Grackle, and it's you know, it's not the most exciting bird in the world, but it does have a pretty impressive tail. Like, the tail is unwieldy. It could definitely hold up a bath towel.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I should know.
Okay, on to the next episode. It's time for the next
Yes.
episode because you know what? This episode is important.
Well, Erik, before we start this episode, do you think ham bone break? What a weird thing to start an episode with is
I
just
know.
Fed and Jake breaking out into ham bone.
Yeah. which is hilarious. But
All right, you're going to say
thankfully-
important things. Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, we are in different states, so there will be no ham bone on this episode.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have
Yeah.
done that even if we're in the same room, to be honest.
It'd be weird. It would be super weird.
Yeah.
So this episode is important. So this is Freak City, episode 20, Freak City. This episode introduces Magic Man, who seems like he could be a very throwaway villain character, but is honestly one of the most dangerous and most insidious villains in Adventure Time. And I don't want to say anything else because he's got some really, really important stuff to do later on. His arc is very, very important. His story will be tied into many, many other stories, including Glog, Grob, Glob. You know, the tripartite Martian god,
The triune god of Mars.
Yes, the King of Mars's story gets tied into the history and story of the Ice King. Like Magic Man ends up being really, really essential, and also sort of the I would guess sort of like the quintessential embodiment of what is so screwed up with magic and ooh. You know, we learn later on that in order to be a wizard in ooh, you have to have madness, sadness, and magic. Like those three things have to combine in a person in order to turn them into a wizard. And Magic Man has those in droves. His magic is incredibly powerful. His sadness is incredibly deep and weird, and his madness is more baffling and more frustrating than Ice King's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Though I would say that Ice King probably is more baffling. It's just we got to know him, and he's not as powerful as Magic Man.
He's not as powerful as Magic Man, but I also think that Ice King's madness feels more human. Like, if you've ever met anybody who deals with like really bad, psychosis level mental illness, you can kind of see that in Magic Man, or not in Magic Man, in Ice King. In Magic Man, I think you can barely identify with him because his madness is so alien and strange. You know, there's so little humanity left in him. You only barely ever see glimpses of it. He's crazier than the Joker. You know, he's just sort of gone.
Man, talk about twisted.
I know. And in this episode, like what we see in this episode is that he is basically invulnerable. Like there's nothing the characters can do to even scratch or harm Magic Man or even startle him or upset him. Like he's only amused. He is fickle and just playing. Like there's nothing that they ever do to perturb him, really.
But they didn't really try much. I mean, I feel like if I met him, no, but I mean, like if I met like a magical being like that, I'd try like maybe see if iron affects him. Try to throw some rice down to see if he's compelled to count all the grains of it.
Okay, those are good points.
Yeah.
But you know,
they're not trying to Fey lore hard enough.
Finn's like 10 years old, so you got to give him a break.
And I'm going to give him a break. I'm just saying, maybe give it a, read a book or something. You know, you live in a magical world. Maybe know a little bit of some magical rules.
So there is a really, really delightful surprise in this episode, which is Worf.
Michael Dorn. Yeah.
Yes.
Do that. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, in this episode, Finn gets turned into a giant foot. Jake, I think they don't really ever address this, but I think Jake is like genuinely terrified of Magic Man, which is one of the reasons that he doesn't want to like go after him and try to fix things. I think Jake is just scared shitless. Because we know that Jake is really, really good at just covering up being scared. He instead just wants to make a game.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, I can agree with that. I thought it was just Jake being weird, but yeah, no, you're right. It probably is a coping thing with magic. Though, before we get too deep in the episode, I do want to bring up how the episode starts. And it seems to be a running theme with everything magic-based in this show, which is kind of what our podcast is about.
Uh-huh.
Magic episodes start with a stranger offering them something or asking for something.
Yes, that's true.
Hey kid, would you like some free magic? And this one was, hey kid, you got any food?
Yeah. And this is probably like the third or fourth time that's happened, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it seems like that's the way the magical interactions, much like, it's like, in order to contact angels, you need to be in some kind of like liminal state or like extraterrestrials. In this, you just need to be like walking in the woods and have a hobo ask you for something. And the next thing you know, adventure.
And one of the things that's interesting about like sort of the overall arc of the story is there is a part where where Finn is like, oh, you were just trying to teach me a lesson. You were trying to get me to understand this and understand this. And no, none of that was ever the case. It was just Magic Man being friggin' insane. Like he was just sort of like, nope, I'm just playing around and being an asshole. Like there's no lesson here.
Well, the lesson is that I'm a jerk.
Yeah. The lesson is do not ever trust Magic Man, which they definitely discover later. And I mean,
it's kind of interesting. As much as that is probably the most important lesson of the show so far, is that some people are just jerks.
Yeah.
Like Finn and Jake being like kind of open-hearted so much is like, that's a naivete that you're allowed when you're a kid. But at some point you have to learn that some people are just assholes. And Magic Man kind of is teaching an important lesson, weirdly enough.
Yeah, and I think that you also really see in this episode how friggin' lucky Finn is to make it to adulthood. Like, how does he manage to survive all this stuff? The scene right when Magic Man is sort of reveals himself and he calls down the bird and then he like floops away all of its skin and feathers.
Oh, he flips it inside out. Yeah. Oh, it's gross.
And it's just sort of like, what the hell? And you can see right then, Finn and Jake are terrified of what's going on. They're like, oh shit, this is awful. But they kind of get out easy. Luckily Magic Man isn't just a homicidal maniac unless you're a bird, and then you're pretty fucked. But
that wouldn't be homicidal. That'd be like aviacidal.
Yeah, true. And I guess we did just have Thanksgiving, which is the most aviacidal of holidays.
Truth.
Yeah. But Finn gets turned into the giant foot and this whole thing happens. Oh yeah, and then the where Worf comes into it is Jake is sort of like, oh no, you're just gonna have to deal with being a giant foot. Like Jake obviously never wants to confront Magic Man again. Like after that initial encounter, Jake is sort of like, I never want to see Magic Man again. Never want to have anything to do with this again. Like, you're just gonna be a giant foot. We'll figure out how to deal with it. So they set up this trap, a foot catapult, whereby when an evil monster comes along, a giant evil monster comes along, they will step on the trap, and Finn, who is a giant foot, will be catapulted into their crotch. So this big two-headed giant comes lumbering along through the woods, steps in the trap, the Finn foot gets catapulted into the crotch, and Worf says, oh, our evil crotch! And yes, that was Worf. It was Worf.
Was that Worf?
Yes.
Because Worf is the eyeball guy under the bridge.
He's also the giant.
Oh, I didn't notice the giant. I only noticed the eyeball guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Michael Dorn, most famous for Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine. Wait, what about? Okay, fine. Deep Space Nine.
Oh, was he on another one?
Yeah, he's on one of the other ones. I can't remember. The Voyager.
Yeah.
Or
It's
something?
probably Enterprise. Yeah.
Enterprise. Yeah.
Great. Kind of callback. I don't even know what you'd call it, but like. Jake smells under the bridge where Finn has been tossed by the villagers that they thought that was assaulting him. And he goes, oh no, it smells like vomit on fire under there. Which is like, a funny line, like, oh, that's, it smells so horrible. But like seconds later, you find out Worf actually does vomit fire. It's just a stupid setup, but it's great.
There's also a line where Jake says, oh yeah, Finn, I can sense when you're about to cry.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is great. And
it's like a motherly instinct. Yeah.
It is, but it's also, it kind of, one of the things that we've brought up numerous times is that at least through the first season or so, Jake's whole job is just keep Finn alive.
Yes.
Because he's... Which also would explain why he doesn't want to go confront Magic Man again. Because how is Jake ever supposed to fight Magic Man? He can't.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
There's no way he could protect Finn.
I mean, you could like punch him real hard.
But we already see that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but did they try punching him like real hard?
I don't think it's going to do anything.
What about like a sword that also punches?
I think that they try a number of things in later episodes, and we see that there is nothing you can do to hurt Magic Man.
What about like 2 swords?
You're not listening to me.
Nope. Yeah, no, truth. His line of Jake giving up, and he says, "Can we live here in the pile of trash and rats forever?"
And then all the rats come over and start chewing on him or something.
It's so great. So this leads us into what I consider the worst part of this episode, and I wish it wasn't here. There's just a really bad musical sequence.
A musical sequence. I blocked it out already.
Yeah, Finn dreams, and then he starts doing the robot voice.
Oh my god, shit. God, that's awful.
And there's like it's not
Right.
good. The
I have
song's
it
not
written down
catchy.
here. It's the depression song, too.
Yes.
Because there is sort of like this thing about depression. Like, so Finn, who's been changed into a giant foot, meets all of these other people who have been changed into other body parts, and they're all living under the bridge. That's the Freak City. And they've all given up. Like, they've all just sort of accepted their fate, and they're like, we can't do anything, we can't fight this, we can't blah 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 blah, and they all just sort of sit around in the muck.
Yeah, and it seems pretty chill under there. It's all right.
I don't know, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and he sings his dumb song, and
And he's auto-tuned. The whole thing, he's auto-tuned like crazy.
Yes. The end result of this is that he gets the other freaks under the bridge to get their ire up to confront Magic Man. And how they do it is they turn into like a freak Voltron. Where one guy's like an eye, so he stands on top, and there's a foot and an arm, and they combine into being a freak Voltron.
Oh, yeah, and it's really weird. One of them is a waist.
Yes. It's and then, so somehow
and then Jake is the pants.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they find Magic Man, and they punch him a few times, pin him down, and I love in the background one of them screaming, "Get his eyes! Cut him in the eyes!" What a fucking brutal thing to say. And for some reason, that convinces Magic Man. I don't even know why the resolution. Basically, he's just nuts and fixes everybody for no good reason.
Yeah, I don't think he has any reason to fix everybody, but I think he also doesn't have any reason to not fix everybody. There's a possibility that maybe Magic Man has some limit to his powers. So maybe he can't maintain that level of transformation forever. Maybe he has a limit that we don't understand or something like that. But at this point, it doesn't seem like there's a reason for him to fix everybody. He just does it.
And everybody's cured, and the Finn confronts Jake of like, "Why did you not want me to turn back from a foot?" And Jake's excuse was, "I always wanted to be a foot myself." He's like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's complicated, man. You'll understand when you're older."
Yeah, I love that line because Jake could literally just be a foot.
Yes. Because he turned it. He's like, "I saw you turn into a foot twice earlier today." Yeah.
Don't give your sugar to jerks.
I probed that line of like, did that mean something else? Is there like a double meaning? But no, I think it's just a weird line down the show.
Okay, here, I as somebody who's older than Jake, I have a theory. Finn is transformed into a foot against his will and is unable to change shape.
Yeah.
Jake could be a foot anytime he wants, but he could be anything anytime he wants. He just picks his shape. Maybe there's part of Jake that wants to have some shape imposed upon him. Mm-hmm.
So you're saying he's a sub?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. I think that's acceptable.
Okay.
Erik, continuing the thing that we forgot to do most of the time, who won these episodes?
Okay, this is who I think won these episodes. First of all, I do kind of want to vote for Peppermint Butler. He was a background character with very little to do. I thought his futile attempt with the manacles was pretty good. So I think he could be in the running.
Yeah, in contention.
Second, I think the Turtle King could be in the running.
Okay.
Because he had a cool character design. I thought he looked really neat. And then third, right at the end, when all of the body parts get changed back into people, one of them really stood out to me, which was like this pirate lady with a eye patch and a crazy hair, and one of her arms was like a syringe with a giant
I know the one you're talking about.
fish in it. And I thought I was like, holy shit, she never shows up again. I want to see that character again. Like, what the hell is up with that thing?
Yeah.
So those are my three. Of the three, I think I'm going to have to vote for the Turtle King, though, because I've mentioned him a couple times now, and I wasn't even going to mention him this time, but he bubbled out of my subconscious against my will.
Well, I've got two that are contention, and I think one's the runaway winner. But first is the Marquis of Nuts, or the Marquis, whatever we pronounce it, because I like an assassin, and I like a little kid assassin more.
Right.
But the only thing I like more than that is a cat assassin. So I think the winner is that weird red squirrel. I know it's not a cat, but it's close enough. Because that red squirrel is the best. I love the vengeance quest that they are on.
I am willing to concede the red squirrel. I think that it's, I think the red squirrel doesn't get any resolution, and I hope that we get an episode later on where the red squirrel and the pirate lady with the fishbowl syringe hand fight each other.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Hopefully we both just forgot about that episode and it's going to show up at some point.
Yeah, because we don't know. There's like 5 seasons that we haven't even touched yet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we're getting close. We are getting close to the end of season 1. And I'm really excited about it. I'm glad that we've made it this far. I'm glad that we ran into Magic Man. I totally forgot he was in season 1. He's such a
me too.
He's such a vicious player. Like he's in some of my favorite later episodes, like the episode with Tiny Manticore.
Yes,
I love that. I love that one.
All right. So to close the episode out, let us do another segment.
Okay. Is this one that I get to answer questions from with? Over?
I don't know.
Through?
What segment do you want to do? I didn't have anything planned.
Well, I don't know. Do you have another segment there? I don't have very many of my notes. I'm on vacation.
Well, we can do what you've been reading, watching, etc.
Okay. Oh, I do have some stuff. So I've been traveling a lot, which has given me the opportunity to read a bunch of books. Oh, God. I'm going to forget this lady's name. I just finished reading a couple of novels from the Francis Drake Mysteries, which are by Anne Castle. And I believe she kind of publishes either through small press or independently, but I've been reading ebooks. They are excellent. They are well written. They are fun adventures. They do involve. It's not Francis Drake. It's the other Francis Bacon. They involve Francis Bacon and some young people that he's sort of recruited to be spies and intelligencers, and they solve mysteries and murders and that kind of stuff. And they are really, really delightful. So I would highly recommend those to anybody who needs a historical mystery to read. How about you? What have you been reading, watching, listening to, etc.?
Reading, I'm just reading shitty sci-fi, so I'm not even going to mention those. Watching, and I'm rarely going to do this on this show, but my other show, John and Alex Hate Stuff, where we watch movies and talk about them. We watched a movie that I think this audience would be interested in. I don't know if like would be a strong thing, but we watched a movie called The Manitou, starring Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis, really?
Yes, it's from, I don't know, 1970 something maybe. So the plot of the movie is Tony Curtis is a tarot card reader.
What?
Yes. Oh, it gets great from here. His ex-girlfriend comes and visits him, and it turns out that she's got a growth on the back of her neck that's looking like an embryo, and they're trying to get it excised. Turns out that growth is a Native American shaman that is being resurrected through the back of her head.
Oh my God! You know what? I've heard of this movie before.
It's a very weird movie. It's not good, but it's not like something you've probably seen a lot of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think I might have watched it like 20 years ago.
Yeah. It's weird. There's tarot in it. It's a very strange movie. So that's what I watched recently that I thought was something to be remarked upon, because this was a few weeks ago we watched it, and I'm still like, that was so weird.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. Yeah, oof. okay, so now I think we should have another conversation, which is like, Twitter has been turning into a dumpster fire lately,
Yes.
and I'm not sure it's ever going to get better. So
Yeah.
we might either I think we're probably going to have a conversation about where we're going to move our ragingly hot social media presence. But for now, we are still Wiz Biz Podcast at Twitter and Wiz Biz Podcast on Instagram.
Yeah, and Instagram we barely use, so yeah, we'll figure something else out once.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, once the whoever is the Twitter successor starts to get a little more clear.
Yeah.
We'll-
I mean, I
we'll
personally
choose that one.
have been over on Mastodon and I've been enjoying it a lot, but I have seen like almost no Adventure Time content. Like there doesn't seem to be Adventure Time people hanging out on Mastodon. So I guess we'll have to see. I'll have to see where people go.
So yeah, we'll do. But for now, follow us on Twitter until it completely, collapses,
Yeah.
and we'll move on to MySpace or whatever the hell comes next.
Yeah. But we will be there. We and our 40 followers.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. So we will see you next episode.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. Make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you tell your Adventure Timey friends about us. We're just, we're as we reach the end of season 1, we're going to be getting into the meat of stuff. And as you know, season 2 starts off strong and gets way into the craziness that is the kingdom of Ooh and the world of Adventure Time.
Exactly.
So,
Listen to the theme song. Come on, grab your
Yes.
friends.
Yes, come on. Grab your friends. Bring them to us. Okay. That's good, right? We're done. We're good.
We're perfect. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye, Gunter.